What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest and very special episode of the Rich and Turbo Heavy Half Hour. My name is Rich. You can find me on all the socials at rich.piva as a Doom Charge contributor, doing reviews from Musapedia of Metal. From the frozen tundra of Tennessee, I have Turbo. Turbo, what's going on?
So, well, I'm good.
That's all I could ask for, Turbo. That is all I could ask for. And then a special co-host from the Heavy Underground Farm Report, Sean Patrick Brooks. Sean, what's going on?
Hey, Rich, how are you doing, man? Thanks for having me do this with you guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We are very, very excited to have eventually, but as of right this second, 4/5 of the legendary band Hermano. We have John, Dandy, Mike, and Chris, with Dave soon to follow. And we have some really fun, special things that we want to do on this. And first, just want to say thank you guys for joining, and really, really appreciate you guys popping in and having this conversation with us. How are you guys doing today?
Doing fantastic, man. Thank you guys for
having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's an honor. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I would talk to Hermano every day, but we are here because you guys have something special happening via Ripple Music. You have a new live record of your Hellfest show from 2016, as Sean, who is a lucky bastard, already has his copy.
Can't believe I got it last night when I came home from work. It was like, yes.
I'm not sure how the mail works to get it to Denver before it gets to Florida, but that's a whole other story. Who wants to tell us about this record first? Who wants to tell us about what the new live Hermano record that's dropping the first week of February is all about?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, we're pleased as punch to have that thing come out. What a special show for us. We hadn't played together in quite some time when we got the invite to come play Hellfest in 2016. We did a little bit of homework, but we really didn't have any rehearsal before we showed up in Clisson. And it's one of those things where you get off the plane and they're like, here's your rehearsal space, and get settled into your hotel room. And we managed to get a couple hours of rehearsal in, and then just walked on and did it, man. And it just came off like gangbusters. But that's always the way it is with Hermano. There's just this simpatico that goes with the band. I mean, it's been there since the very first time we walked in the studio together, which actually was the very first time that we were all in the same room together. So there's just this connection between everybody in the band, and that record is really a prime example of that, I think.
Excellent. When you guys got together, when was the last time that you had played together before you landed in France for this show? How long had it been?
2008, maybe?
Yeah. As a live show, I mean, but we had come together a couple of times in the years after our last tour. I mean, we did some session work, some recording. I mean, we have a stack of songs that we've recorded and had worked on for a while. We just haven't finished those songs up yet, but we'd come together a number of times to jam out together and write music together. But as a live show, yeah, that was the first time since 2008, somewhere around there.
Perfect. Hey, there's John. Hi, John. How you doing? We can see you now. Good to see you. Now we can see everyone. So when you got into that, I'm fascinated by the fact that you guys could, create what you created on that live record with just a couple hours lead time to be able to get up on that stage and do that. Going in, was there like a group text chain that said, like, these are the songs that we're going to do, get ready for this? Was there a negotiation in the room? And were there ones that you were ready to do and you tried it out and you're like, nah, we're going to try something else instead?
I mean, absolutely, we had a game plan. I mean, that's just the nature of how we do things. I mean, we have to, because we're so limited on time and we're not in the same geographical location, we kind of have to communicate that way and say, hey, learn these songs and get them to a point where you're ready to get in the room with everybody and pop it off. But then, yes, you're right. I guess there's always going to be some of that, not necessarily cutting songs out, but just feeling like, hey, this one needs a little bit more attention. We need to work on, this little part or transition. And honestly, I mean, that was 2016, so I don't remember if we cut any out. I don't really remember. So if anybody else does, please chime in.
I think we tried. We were going to try to do a cover, right? We were going to do maybe a ZZ Top cover, Brown Sugar, or something like that. And I think we walked into the room thinking we were going to blast it out, but it just didn't come together. Things like that happen. But I'm always confident when I walk on stage with these guys that we're going to have each other's backs, and there's going to be mistakes. I listened to that live record, and there's mistakes here and there, and it's loose here and there, but
That's
man,
rock and roll.
it rocks.
That's rock and roll.
Yeah. It's about a vibe. It's about a feeling. It's not about being perfect. I think when we play live shows, I think the energy that we exude, the audience picks up on that, and they pump us up as well. And even if there's a off note here or there, nobody seems to give a damn.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in that crowd or anybody who's going to listen to this record will catch on to any of those things. We've had a chance to spend some time with it. Sean had a chance to spin it. I can't say those words. Whatever you do with the digital. But one of the things that I love about this, and you guys tell me, and John, this is something that I picked up just from when you announced the band, and just how these guys came from their city for you. Is that something that you thought about ahead of time? Is that something that you do all the time, or is that something special for like how you announce these guys for this show in this particular case?
Yeah, that was kind of off the cuff a little bit, and I feed off the energy of the crowd, and I get nervous. You put me in front of 10,000 people, and it's nerve-wracking. I still get nervous. It's a good thing, but going back to what what the guys are saying, it's true. We're all there for one reason, and one reason and only, and one reason only, and I just thought it was just something off the cuff that I would do, and it's a great way to introduce everybody, and it's not just me up there. It's Dave and Dandy and Chris and Mike, and as you know, or as you may heard, there's a lot of moving parts to all of this stuff, and we all have families and kids and wives, and I go back to the verbiage of the moons have to align just right to make something like that happen. And when there was an opportunity for this recording to become a a live record and actually be released, after listening to it, I was, I thought to myself, absolutely, these guys, this band, forget about the singer, but the band itself, these guys are heavy hitters. They know what the fuck they're doing. They're professionals, and to be backed by, just an amazing group of guys. It's something special. So each one of them deserve their introduction and why we were there. So sorry for that long-winded answer.
No, I love it.
No.
It sticks to me in that.
I had given John the script to how to introduce me, and I was pleasantly surprised that he pulled off what he did, even though I was a little disappointed that all of my stuff didn't get in there. Talking about that live record, we'd been talking to Ripple Music about releasing some stuff, releasing some old stuff that we hadn't released before, that we put on when the moon was high. And Dave and I started talking about, I had a whole box of old DAT tapes of live recordings, And we went through those, man, and you know, while there was energy to them, the audio quality was just terrible. And so I was like, well, let me reach out to a friend of mine, Laurent, who is a writer in France, and he also does some work with Hellfest. And I was like, maybe, just maybe, somebody captured that show. You know, maybe somebody got it. And Laurent put me in contact with Eric Collier, who works for Sombrero and Co. And they're the ones that do all the video work for Hellfest. And I reached out to Eric and he's like, well, let me check my files and let me see what I've got. And he sent me a couple of excerpts and I was like, holy cow, man. You know, do you have the whole show? Do you have it all on video and on audio? And he got back to me within 2 weeks and he was just like, here you go, man. Do what you want with it, you know, gratis. And I was just like, oh my God, not only are you letting us use this thing, but letting us use it with your permission, with your company's permission, for, you know, for free, just because he loves the band and he loved the show and he was happy that we were going to do something with it. So it was really, really happen chance that we came across those files and that we were able to turn it into this record. And eventually down the road, the DVD that's going to come out, well, the audio, or I'm sorry, the video of it, we don't know what format it's going to come out in, but it's a really special performance. And the video looks great. The audio sounds great. You know, the audio wasn't absolutely pristine until our very good friend, Jason Groves, who works for Sneak Attack Studio out of Lexington, he got his paws on it. And he was able to just bring every bit of sparkle out of that audio and turn it into what it is. And it really turned out nice. I think we're all very, very proud of it.
Excellent.
It sounds
Yeah, it
amazing.
sounds very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I listened to it twice in a row last night and then put it on this morning. Is there a particular song that you guys are super happy with the way it turned out on the album? I mean, I'm really excited about Left Side Bleeding. I guess I want you guys to talk
Yeah.
about that. That's my roundabout way of asking for that. Sorry.
I mean, I like that one. I think Manager's Special had a lot of good energy to it. I mean, that just had like that raw punk rock kind of energy. And, you know, a couple of those songs, like, you know, to Dandy's point, I mean, they weren't perfect, but they've, you know, it kind of, that's what makes it so exciting to me, is that it feels like it's going to fall apart or go off the rails, but it doesn't. You know, I mean, that's just the beauty of live rock and roll to me. Like, I don't want it to sound, you know, too rehearsed and too stale. I like the dangerous nature of it, you know. So
Mike, do you like working with Dave on stage? And I know I think you mentioned before that you're not like, you're usually a one guitar guy. So
I mean, it just has to be the right person. And I mean, you know, Dave has just become that person over the last 25 years for me. I mean, he's, you know, like, as all these guys are, like family to me at this point. They're my brothers. And, you know, Dave and I just work so well together stylistically. And it's hard to describe what it is, but I mean, it just works, you know, stylistically. Like, what I do complements what he does complements the way I play. It's just, we kind of come together and form this one thing, you know, and it really is special.
Yeah, for sure. I knew that from the moment I saw Mike play, like 28 years ago when we were first putting Hermano together. And, you know, I'd known Dave for quite some time, but when I saw Mike play with Disengage, I immediately was like, these two guys are going to sound immense together. And I think I drunkenly walked up to Mike and I'm like, I'm putting this project together. I'd like to send you a cassette.
I just told that story the other day. It was in Cincinnati at this little, now long gone club called Sudsy Malone's, which was a laundromat and a live music place. And it was like on the college campus, and it was a really cool place. They booked great bands. And so the band that I was in at the time, and still play shows with occasionally, Disengage, yeah, we played. He walks up to me and he says exactly that. I'm putting this project together. It's John Garcia from Caius and Steve Earle from the Afghan Wigs and Dave Angstrom from Superfuzz, and I'm Dandy Brown, and I'm, you know, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you? Like, and
Yeah,
you know, and
exactly.
he literally said, "Can I send you a cassette tape?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, all right, dude." And we exchanged numbers, and then sure as shit, you know, we started communicating. And long story short, I mean, I made the trek down from the Cleveland area down to Cincinnati a couple times, and you and I kind of sat in your studio and, you know, worked out some framework for some of those very first songs. And but yeah, I guess the you know, as they say, the rest is history. When we all actually got in that studio together was the first time all of us were in the studio together.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We have a couple special guests, people who write about the scene and write about the bands that we love and that have been large fans, big fans for a long time. I'm gonna let JJ in right now.
Oh.
Hey
Oh my
JJ,
God.
how are you?
Hey, man.
Hi guys.
What's
Hey,
happening?
I'm good.
Can you hear us
JJ.
okay?
Everybody. Yeah, I think so.
Excellent. We were just talking to the guys about the new live record and wanted to see if you wanted to ask them anything about what's going on with the Hermano stuff as of today.
Well, hi. Hi. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm absolutely thrilled, man. I got to say, JJ and I have communicated for quite a number of years, and I think this is the first time we've actually spoken, bro.
That's cool.
Actually, I think no, I interviewed I thinking of Hermano Records, I interviewed you for Into the Exam Room.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, it was a while ago now.
Oh my
It
God.
was.
Well, those are brain cells long since
Yeah,
lost,
that's
I think.
it. Good. Yeah, it was a long time ago in the before times, if you
Right
will.
on. Right on.
In the before times. The live record, I guess I don't know what's been said at this point about it, but what stands out to me is that it really sounds like you guys are in the moment. It really sounds to me like it's special for you to be there and see sort of like I can imagine, you know, I know that old tent at Hellfest, right, where they put
Mhm.
the heavy rock bands and like that crowd is amazing looking. You know, everybody has their shot, right? Where the set's over and the crowd behind them.
Yeah.
It looks like a really special moment for me. And I would just love to hear you guys talk about what the experience was like coming from not doing a ton for however many years and seeing that at Hellfest.
I mean,
And
John, do you want to go first?
JJ, nice to meet you, and thanks for this. Yeah, I'm going to go back to what I was saying about when you have a band like Hermano that gets together every once in a great while, and you get behind these guys, and they're so good, the band together as a unit. They're they're incredible. And to be able to do this in France, um, in front of thousands of people, this is something that the band doesn't take for granted. This is something that the band really appreciates, um, the opportunity to do something like this. And I can't tell you the 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 amount of appreciation that I think I speak for everybody, uh, how lucky we are to be doing this. Hellfest versus uh, Buzzy Malone's versus anywhere. I think we're all appreciative that we can get into a room together and do what we do. And this particular show was an absolute blessing. And again, I'm I'm very very lucky to be a part of this group, this unit, and what a special that was. You can tell we were having fun. As far as
Mhm.
for the major and minor imperfections that you hear in the live recordings, that's the beauty of it. You know, that's exactly the reason why I go see live shows, is to hear the major and minor imperfections in a group. And so, but what a great experience to be, you know, behind or in front, with these guys. It's just something that I don't take for granted. I'm very, very lucky to even be here speaking with you about something that we recreated. So the appreciation level is off the chart.
Right on, right on. JJ, kind of speaking to your question a little bit further, I can remember walking out on that stage, and Johnny always, he'll always come over to me before we play a show, and he'll be like, "Are you ready, Dandy?" And I'm just like everybody else, I'm in knots. I'm just like, yes, here we go. I'm raging inside, ready to go out and play that show, but also, nervous to walk out in front of 10,000 people like that. And I would also, before I go further, I'd like to speak to Hellfest and that Valley stage. The way they used to have that Valley stage set up in that tent was so tremendously better than what they have now. And I don't mean that as a diss to
Yeah.
Hellfest, but that look was just such a tremendous look, and you can see it in the photos and in the video. And I've talked to many people there at Hellfest, and they concur. Hopefully they'll go back to the tent, but like I say, Johnny comes over and he's just like, "Are you ready, man?" And he looks me in the eye. He's like, "I can tell you're ready." And we jump out on that stage, and we look around at each other, and the nerves are there, and we're all anxious and ready to go. But man, once we hit that first note, it's just like, it's the ultimate high, man. You're just up there with your friends, people that are accomplished musicians that are going to have your back, like I was saying earlier. And, you're just ready to rage through those songs and just have the most awesome time, the most awesome high you can imagine playing that material. And I just think it comes through on a live record. I think it comes through in every performance that Hermano ever does. And maybe that's a product of us not playing together all the time.
I agree with you on that. I mean, if I may interject, I mean, I agree with everything both of you guys just said. And it's like, I'm grateful for any time that we're in the same room playing music together. I mean, the crowd at Hellfest was just like icing on the cake to me. I mean, it's just such, as everybody said, an amazing experience. I mean, it's indescribable almost. But I mean, even this last year's Hellfest that we played just this past June, I mean, I was excited just the first rehearsal that we had for that in that little room. I mean, I was so excited just about that feeling, like, let alone getting to play in front of, like you saying, like 8, 10, 12,000 people or whatever it is. It's like, I'm grateful just to make music with these guys and, to give a little love back to JG, talking about the band that's behind him. I mean, what a voice though. Come on, that performance on that live record too. I mean, John, your voice is incredible on that record. And, it was just such a special show. And I think, we're all just grateful to do what we do.
Who was it that yelled, "Put your pentagrams down"? And
Dave.
we're ready to, was that Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I laughed. I laughed hard at that. I'm like,
you'll come to find most of the one-liners are usually Dave.
Got the zingers. Zingers.
Who did you guys play after? I mean, who was on before you guys went on? Do you remember?
Yes, Goat Snake was before us. And then Fu Manchu was immediately after us. They were the last one.
Ghost Snake was tremendous that night, man. And I'm good friends with Pete from the Orchestra days. And dude, that guy is a tremendous performer too. What a great band. What a great voice as well.
We have another guest, Sean. You invited our friend Tom. Do you want to introduce Tom? I'm going to let him in right now.
Yeah, Tom Robbins from And Now the Band. Tom has a great podcast, and man, I'm super happy that Tom could join us today. Hey, Tom, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Can you hear me?
I appreciate the
Dude, I just did the most amazing intro for you. You missed it. So it was like Academy Award level. So you'll catch that on the replay. I'm sure.
So Tom, we wanted to, we've been talking about the new live
yeah.
record. We've been talking about what that day was like. We've been talking about just our Hermano, overall, and wanted to give you a chance to ask the guys a question about what's going on with the live record or the band overall.
No matter what the question is, Chris Leathers has to answer it.
Yeah, because you haven't
Well,
said
yeah,
anything.
I have
yet.
questions for Chris. I have questions specifically for Chris when we get after this. So, Tom, you go first.
All good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Give me you guys do your thing. Give me a minute to I'll fold into the mix in a
All
minute.
right. I was going to ask Chris, being the guy who's kind of, behind everybody, you can see everything that's going on. You can see what that crowd looked like, and you can see kind of what the atmosphere was probably before everybody else could see and see further out. What was your first thought? Like when you first just hit that first drum as this started? Was it nervousness? Was it excitement? Was it, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be a scary. What was it? What were you thinking as that show started?
I think every word you just used was going on at the same time. I hadn't personally played, like I don't play with the local group where I live. So it was probably 8, 9 years since I had played a show since the last time we toured. Okay. So if you can imagine, not only have I not played these songs in 8, 9 years, I hadn't really played much at all, to be quite honest with you.
That's
So
amazing.
to say that I wasn't nervous, I'd be lying to you. And that little bit, I think, extra pressure, like I gotta perform. I gotta do my best here. And when you're doing a live record, and at the time we didn't know that this was gonna happen, right? We didn't know there was gonna be a live record. We were just trying to put on the best show we could put on, because for me, it's kind of a dream come true. You still get to play music with your friends. You still get to go and live that life for at least 45 minutes. I got to give everything I got for this next 45 minutes and really be in that zone. When you're behind John and knowing the history where he comes from, and then everybody else that we play with are so good. The role of a support and that drumming role, and with Dandy being locked in, I mean, it's either sink or swim, and let's just get it on. I mean, if you can imagine, think about this. What if you were celibate for 8 years? Right? That's what it was for me. Boom! It was just like this explosion of, so that's, for me, that was, I know it's kind of a weird, but you get my point, right? Just an incredible
I was married for
feeling.
24 years. I get it.
Zing. And then hearing what came out of it, being in the studio is one thing, but having a live record where everything is under the microscope, and you know what I mean? So, to say that I was shocked at how good it came out, I was, but I wasn't surprised. Well, we've always been a great band. Dave and I have been playing together since I was probably 13 years old, so we've got a long history of playing and Superfuzz together. And I know where he's going on that neck most of the time. Sometimes, it just if you listen to Left Side Bleeding, that was almost a train wreck. And, but it was all brought back together, and it ended up working out. So, just blessed, man. That's how I feel all the time, getting to jam with these guys and play. So
it's an interesting point. We talked to Tim from Jack Harlan and the Dead Crows, and we asked him, "Are you going to do a live record?" He's like, "If we do, I don't want to know that it's going to be a live record because, I'll be thinking about it. We'll be thinking about what we do. It won't be natural. It'll be, I'll be worried about the mistakes that I made and things like that. He'd rather it be more of an organic thing. So that sounds like exactly what you guys are saying there.
100%. If I would have known that we were going to make a record out of that, it wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
It would not have been the same. And something else to kind of put into perspective. I mean, these festival shows like Hellfest, it's very different than like a club show where you're headlining or something, because then you get an extended sound check and you get all this time to set up and make sure you can hear everything and everything's just the right way you want it. these festival shows to a point are like throw and go. It's like, yeah, you get a quick line check, a quick, yep, I can hear myself, let's go, and boom. And then couple that with the fact that we aren't, I guess, a traditional band in the sense that we had been on tour and this was a stop on the tour where we're already locked in. It's like we're coming in kind of, cold. And then on top of like a festival environment. So yeah, it just adds to that whole dangerous nature of it, I guess, which is more fun.
It is.
Anybody?
Yeah, but that,
Yeah.
I think the
Make it-
album turned out great, and it speaks so highly to like how you guys connect as musicians, after not playing together for so long and just boom, nailed it,
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that also goes back to the fact that
well-
we love playing music together. We play music together well, but it's not the quintessential top of the heap reason that we're Hermano. We have a long standing friendship that is probably the most important thing about our relationship, even beyond the music. I had no idea 28 years ago when I brought these guys in the studio to record that first record that it was going to go beyond that first record. A bunch of guys that don't even know each other. Then suddenly, here we have the depth of the friendships that we have, and it is like family. We've had our ups and downs, we've had our disagreements, we've had our back and forth, but at the end of the day, these are some of the strongest friendships that I've ever had in my life. And I would trade the music for that any day. People I know I can call, or people I know I can reach out to if I just want to rap out with somebody, or people that will come to a wedding or or a party or whatever it may be. But that's the most important thing about Hermano that I think we should never lose sight of, and I don't think we ever will, no matter how many shows we do.
I agree,
beautiful.
man. I mean, we've all been through, births, deaths, marriages, divorces, all these life events together, and like you said, I mean, I had no idea when we first met originally, like you said, 28 years ago, it was like a one-off project was the goal. And no, I don't think anybody foresaw that we would be here 28 years later and how many records later, as Chris said, getting lucky enough to be able to still do this. I mean, we all have different things going on in our lives, whether it's musically or just like our jobs or whatever, family, all the things that we do. So the fact that we get to do this still is just an amazing blessing. It really is.
Anyone who's listened to an episode of the Rich and Turbo Heavy Half Hour know that Rich dominates the call for the first 10 minutes or so. But I have now broken the record of Rich dominating the call into 30 minutes without allowing Turbo to ask a question. So Turbo, please, as the guy who probably has been a fan of these guys longer than myself or just about anybody, because knowing what I've learned from you musically, what question do you have for the guys?
I don't know what to say now. Mostly when you talked about the sound and everything and how the vocals sound, John's been one of my favorite vocalists for a long time. And I mentioned this to Dave once, and this may be a little off track or whatnot, but does anybody cuss better than John? Does anybody say motherfucker better than John? Because that just hits so hard in any of the music, any of the songs for me. That's what I just love.
Well,
So that's my statement.
You got to mean it. Like you have to. If you just if you're just saying, hey, listen, motherfucker, but if you truly mean it, like, and you have that, you just, it that energy about it, and it comes from the music. It's drawn from the music, and these guys bring it out in me, and listen, these guys can play with whoever they want and jam whoever with jam wherever, and I go back to being lucky enough to be in front of these guys and do what I do. But it's because of them that I'm talking to you. It's because of Dandy, putting this whole fucking thing together, and it all goes back to the root. The root is Dandy had this vision of, and he can talk to you more about it in detail, but he had this vision when he got all of us together. We had no idea this was going to be, what it is today. And talking about this stuff, in my little Prius in Corona, uh, an hour away from the desert, and talking to everybody about what we created. This is something that's wild and crazy, and when I get up there and we start mouthing off and spouting off, and it's serious shit, and we're up there. Like I said, we're up there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to get down. And that's what we do, whether it's good or not. We're there to get down, and it sure is fun doing that stuff. It's
Mhm.
for lack of better words, it's fun. It is fun. It's great. It's a great departure from my normality, which is 9 to 5, and working at a veterinary clinic and being a dad and a husband, and which we all are in Hermano, and it's something that I go back to not taking for granted, and so to be able to get up there and start spouting off, it's a really cool release for me.
Awesome.
As you were, that's an amazing answer. And as you were giving that answer, I believe Mr. Dave Angstrom has joined the call. If
There he
I'm not
is.
mistaken, I believe Dave has
Yeah,
joined.
actually,
see him.
my press conference is in a few minutes, so if you guys,
It's all right, man. They told me it was 1:15. Turned out it was 1 o'clock. So you got to watch
oh,
home.
dude, I was in there having breakfast, eating steak, eggs, watching Graham Norton. Oh, and I see everybody's text like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and I was on at noon Eastern time, so I was here an hour early, just so
Here's
everybody
at 7
the
o'clock
last
in
second
the
had to
morning.
change that. Um, thank you for joining, Dave.
Yeah,
And
are you in a space shuttle?
why do I look? Do I sound like it?
John
Do I
looks
hear?
like, from my view.
Yeah.
So, Dave, we've talked a lot about the live record. We've talked about the kind of the vibe in the room when you guys got together. We've talked about just how special you guys are as a band. I wanted to ask you just about kind of next steps of Hermano, if that's something that you could talk about, because I know I've heard you've hinted, you've said some things about some stuff that might be coming soon. Anything that you can share with us on this call, and then we'll roundtable and have everybody else ask additional questions now that you're here, if that's cool.
Yeah, and again, sorry I'm late. Yeah, we've got like think 17 albums done. Tours. Shit's getting ready to blow up finally for us. We're going opening for J-Lo next year. We're on the South American J-Lo tour.
Huh?
No, we have no plans. We tend to ride, and it's something John taught me many, many years ago. And I think as a band, we all kind of, hug into this belief that things happen when the moon's aligned for us. And we're all like best friends. We're always talking. We're always working on different projects together. But we try not to force music, and we don't want to force our mono. And I think that's one of the things that makes it so special when we do get together for all of us. It's kind of fun, and we hope people will show up and enjoy it too, but it's just such a treat for us. So, I mean, we've got, like reissues happening, things like that, but, as far as, box sets or new albums or we don't we're trying to get through a reissue series that we promised Todd, like, wonderful so many years
3 years ago.
ago. And
Yeah.
we're like, "Yeah, we'll have it all done in about 6 months," and we're like 14 years into it, I think, at this point.
Fair,
But yeah,
fair
we just
point.
have to go.
Yeah, JJ, as we gave you bad information on when to join,
Yeah,
I
that's
want to open the room up to you and have you ask some more questions to the guys, if that's cool.
Well, thank you kindly. Um, you guys, the tour that's coming up obviously is a point, and sort of speaks to a general sort of shift toward a return to activity over the last couple of years. The EP, the live record, the tour. Um, the tour you're taking, at least for part of it, Solace is going to be with you guys. They are from New Jersey, as am I. My heart goes with Solace. This isn't so much a question, but please be patient with Solace and accept them. They are the most, in their way, like in their beautifully shit talking way, they are the most New Jersey. So please be generous with Solace a couple days. But I mean, aside from like, when's the album coming out and what's next? I feel like you probably answered a lot, Dave, with you're taking it as it comes, and it's been years for reissues, and I think that's probably fair. But at some point, wasn't that creative wheel have to start spinning too?
I think, and for Solace, like Johnny, that came up through our agent, who we absolutely love. And I think Jad had something to do with that too. So there were people kind of talking about the tour and what we could do that could be a little different. I'm stoked about them. They're friends with a good friend of mine, Tommy.
They're wonderful. They're
Yeah.
wonderful guys.
Kick ass.
They're and a great band. So
We're super
they'll
stoked.
talk some shit.
All right. Well, we don't. That's the thing. So it'll be very quiet in those venues during the day. We'll all be reading. I'll show up late. So
No, but I
Johnny,
mean, I
did
think
you play with them before? I know when it came up, there seemed like there was some kind of connection there, but or just kind of stoked about them. I don't know if he's still on here. I can't see who else here. Sorry, the drugs are just kicking in. Hey,
There's John.
us boys, when you make it to this level, you got ladies bringing you tea. That's not tea.
But I think to Dave's point about like not knowing what we're going to do next. I mean, when we played the Hellfest show this past summer, we had not planned for these May upcoming shows yet. Like that was not even in the discussion. Like that happened. So yeah, we never know what we're going to do. It just falls into place, you know? And when it does, we just consider ourselves lucky and we're very grateful when it happens.
Yeah, we were back by the trailer, and Yuri and Johnny, they were talking, and I overheard just for a moment, we should maybe try to do something. And I think, see what happens. I mean, we're just kind of living in the moment. Like I told, like that whole experience, Hellfest, like we walked in and, hey, Tom, I just saw you here. We walked in and, we're like checking in, and super nervous because Dandy Brown is very famous in France. So there's women everywhere. We're like, oh my God, everybody like relax. So, and no, we hear the Cult and we're just like, oh, that's cool. They're playing the Cult. And then I think somebody like, I don't know if it was Jed or somebody was just like, I think that is the Cult. And we're just like, throw the bands on, like we're all booking to the stage to go check out the Cult. And then at the end of the day, I was telling Rich as we're walking out at 2 a.m. after Chris's son Xander, we had to pull him out because Highline was playing with no shirts on, which was actually what a really cool band. We had a blast, and Xander is, I think, what's Xander, 10 now? He's young. He's a young man.
He'll be 12, and he'll never forget that.
Yeah, there were some topless ladies on stage.
Yeah,
he was fixated.
That was the first time. That was.
Can't blame him.
That was the first time that he had probably seen that, and it was probably that was the first time that he had seen Dad play. So it was a special moment for me to get my kids over there because they really had ever had a chance to see the band or meet the guys or watch a show. So it was that was a great experience for them and myself.
Yeah, I don't know who took
the
video.
Tag along, man.
Well, hell yeah. Like Chris, who took the video? Somebody took it on their cell phone from behind us when we were playing. And after the show, like
That's
you and
Brian.
Xander walked
Mine.
out. Yeah, and so Chris and Xander, his son, throwing drumsticks out into the crowd. You know, that was just it's a really cool video to see. Like he's just, you know, this 11-year-old kid throwing dad's drumsticks out to, you know, this huge sea of people is just so awesome.
And we were trying to get
I
Xander
got some
to
I got
announce
a
us.
sweet point out of that. What's that?
Yeah. We were trying to get Xander to announce us. He's 11 and he's not allowed to cuss until he's 18. He was telling me that at the pool. So I was like, dude, if you announce us, there's nothing they can say. And I just hear Chris over there, no.
That's his life goal. He wants to cuss. Yeah, that's his life. That's his life goal. We can't wait.
Kids would be 11.
Kids are great.
Guys, Tom, I haven't allowed or haven't been able to open it up for you to ask any additional questions to these guys. We've kept them longer than we promised. So, what do you got for them?
You know, I guess with the lack of scheduling for the band, is that what keeps it special to you guys? You're not out there on the grind every day and just being able to get back together and have that fellowship with each other?
I think we maintain a fellowship with each other, you know, just from communication. You know, Tom, you know, I would love to play music more often, you know, than I do, but you know, there's practicality to life, and certainly when we do get together, it's a super special occasion. So you know, it's two-edged sword. You know, I love to play music. I keep my toe in the water with all kinds of projects, as do all the other guys. You know, when Hermano comes together, we do, and it just makes it a special occasion when we're able to do that. Would I play more shows if we could? If the window of opportunity opened up, I'm sure we all would. But that window of opportunity, you know, only opens when it does, and we're not trying to open it, you know, forcefully. We just let it happen when it does come together.
Yeah, I think for me, I would rather never play music again. I hate it. I'm trying to figure out this whole AI thing. But I worked hard enough when I was 10 years old to learn how to do vibrato. I was like, that's all I'm doing. But he's always active. I think we're all very active musically. Like Chris is in a drum studio he recently built in his home, and he's retracking drums right now on Dare I Say, which is going to be reissued. Mike's going to be on it. Like I'm super stoked about how that's all
Yeah.
sound. We all are. It's cool to go back and hear. I know John's having connection troubles right now, but it's cool to go back and hear like raw vocals with John because he's our friend. We're all friends, but man, I hear Mike's guitar playing sometimes and I just want to cry. I'm like, yeah, I suck. Like,
Please.
he reminds me of it's literally on our rider, but
He has to say
no,
that.
no,
He has to say
yeah,
that.
I literally have to say that every time. Mike's better than me. So I think the friendship is what makes the music special, and it's really interesting. Like Dandy threw us all together, which was awesome. He did a little lying and conniving, which is total Dandy to get it to happen. But in doing that, like these lifelong friendships, like almost immediately spark. And I am just ever grateful that I listened to some of those early ideas that Dandy shared and that we were friends and that I was invited to be part of it. I mean, that to me is we're going on almost 30 years of hanging out and making music and being
Yeah.
stupid. But we're all 15 as soon as we get together. We like to talk about balls and, you can't say Chris asked for a sports bottle to squirt water in his mouth during a production meeting and tour manager's just like, oh God. That most of us will always be from the Midwest and be 15. John just like shakes his head a lot. They're like, what is wrong with
In my experience talking to Dave, and this is exactly how I thought it would go the second that he joined. So and thank you for that. Thank you for that, Dave. But I've kept the majority of the people on this call on a Sunday for an hour, and I want to say first, JJ and Tom, thank you guys for joining. I
Thank you.
appreciate what you guys do. I look up to you guys from a scene standpoint, and just all the stuff I've learned from your blogs, your interviews, and everything else. So thank you guys for doing that. Sean, thank you. You and I have become friends, and I'm excited
Thanks, Rich.
to what we're going to do next. My partner Turbo, thank you for everything that you do and what I've learned from you. But friggin' Hermano on the Rich and Turbo Heavy Half Hour, all you guys. I'm so excited for you. Shout out to Todd from Ripple, who could not join us today,
We
who
love Todd.
is instrumental in bringing this together. And that thing that somehow Sean got before I did.
We don't
it's
even
just-
have that.
That's what I said. I don't even have one.
God, you need to bring that over to my house, man.
Well, Dave, we do have to do some business this week, so perhaps we.
That's
can
right.
arrange
That's right. I
something.
could at least touch it.
Yeah.
But
As long as he can touch it.
you guys, Dave and I've lost myself now after that. After touching and stuff,
No
now
touching.
I'm all broken with what's happening. But
the phone,
again, Hermano, such an honor and a pleasure to talk to you guys. You guys are awesome. John, Dandy, Mike, Dave, and Chris. The new live record comes out on February 6th. For most of us.
Before we jump, Rich, if I could just say to not only to Todd and the entire Ripple family, but to all of y'all and the blogs and the constant discussions that you all have, the way that you write, the way that you say things, and how honest and sincere you are, I just, scenes and communities. We've always felt part of the underground. Chris and I've always felt that way since we were kids. We've now blossomed where we're a little older than kids, and we still feel that way. And we're very, very honored to be part of that scene. And that doesn't happen, and that world and community doesn't happen without your all's voices and your time, your love, and your passion. So it takes Todd, it takes the agents, it takes the people that are willing to get babysitters to come out to shows. It's just such a huge experience, and we don't take that for granted. We're extremely grateful of that every day. So thank you all so much for
Indeed.
that.
Thank you. What a great way to close it out, Dave. You really maximized the 7 minutes that you did on this
That's what Jen
podcast.
says.
So
That's what Jen says.
I
thank
thought it was only 3 minutes, not 7.
Yeah. Hold on, Mike. We might have done it a few times.
I don't know. Like I want to say I'll edit that out, but there's no way I'm going to edit that out. Anyway, I don't even know how to edit. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for taking time out in your busy
Thanks, Rich.
schedules on a Sunday. And everyone who has not pre-ordered the live record, go do that. Go listen to it. Go buy Hermano stuff and support the Heavy Underground. And thank you, JJ, Tom, Sean, and Turbo, and all the members of Hermano. Thank you guys. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Rich.
Thank you
Thanks,
all.
guys.
guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank
We'll see you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.